Good morning, and coming up to Easter. I wish I could say it's a beautiful day, but it's so good to be lifting a sail. I haven't done that for a while. We've been having lots of rain squalls and gusts that have been getting right up. We're supposed to leave last night, but it's pouring down rain, and it'd be 20 knots 1 minute and 5 knots the next. So I'm just going to play it safe and leave the jib up there for a while, Genoa, front sail, head sail, and leave that up for a while and see what happens. But I'd love to be able to hoist the main as well, because we've got southerly winds and I'm heading north. I'm going north for 10 hours. Anyway, I've packed in the big tinny, and I've got my foil board and hoping for a few adventures. But even in terrible weather conditions, this place is pretty damn good. Look how flat it is, sheltered really. So yeah, not bad. Oh well, I don't know if you guys know, but I eat really healthy when I'm on the boat. So lots of greens, bit of chicken, fry it up. I also try this turkey. It's pretty good stuff actually. I get this autoimmune problem going on, and this has got no sugar, nothing like that, and tastes good and makes you feel great. Anyway, that's my brekkie. So this is the rain squall that's hit, and wind, and look at the dinghy go. Another cracking morning, lots of wind around, bit of rain, bit of blue sky though, happy about that. Coming up to jumping pin point, and we're going to go round. We're making our way up to Macleay Island, visit my cousin again, and spend the night up there. Cheers. Very religious sunrise this morning, isn't it? Sun beaming through the clouds. Very nice. Don't know if you can see that little bank over there, pelicans and seagulls and all that sort of stuff. Tide's coming in, so they'll lose their bank in about half an hour. Well, here I am at Caniva Passage, and right in front of us is where I grew up on family holidays, and it was all sand dune from sand mining. Look how well it's grown back, it's pretty impressive. Mind you, that was over 40 years ago, 45 years ago. But Caniva, beautiful. I'm just a little bit out of the wind, which is nice. Still copping a bit of wind, but it's really come up nicely. So today will be windy, but it'll drop off. Macleay Island's just around the corner. Here we are sailing along. There's oyster beds over there on North Snowbreak Island. We're heading up to Peel Island over there. We've just left Macleay Island, visited my cousin Jonathan, Kellyanne and Jonathan. That was lovely. Thankfully I brought the tinny this time. Sailing along, we're in about 15 knots of wind and doing about almost 6 knots. Pretty cool. Everybody's rushing up that way to get out of it. I'm going with the wind. I'm going to use it as a way to get places. Anyway, we're going to hide behind Peel Island in the Lazarette, we'll be sheltered, and hopefully my brother and family come to visit, and we'll cruise around the bay and play fun and games. Alrighty. Well, here we are towing the tinny, and the tow rope is quite short, and I'm not too worried about it because the tide is running the same direction as the wind, so the chops died down, but also the wavelength, the distance between each wave and swell is very close, so when it does surf, it doesn't really surf close enough. Here you go, it doesn't surf close enough to hit the boat at all. So, you know, that's why I've tied it short. If I was doing a trip with, like out in the ocean where the ocean swells, I would have the dinghy way back, like it's about 3 meters back now. I would have it like 20 meters back. I'd have at least 2 wave swell wavelengths difference between the dinghy and the boat, and that's so the boat doesn't surf down a wave and hit mojo. Anyway, that's my thinking, that's my reasoning. It's worked so far, and pretty happy I've got it. It is slowing me down a little bit. I reckon I'm doing about 5 knots now, but if I didn't have it, I'd be doing close to 7 knots. But you know what, who cares? It takes me an extra hour to get somewhere. I'm a-okay with that, and might even get a chance to have a wing fall this afternoon, because I've got that tinny that can take me to an appropriate beach, a safe enough beach to do it. Alright, we'll see what happens. Over there we've got, I think it's Goat Island, and when I was growing up there was another island there we call Bird Island. It's now just a rock, there's nothing left but one rock. But over here you can see Peel Island with Horseshoe Bay, and of course with these southerly winds pushing straight onto the beach, there's no way that it would be anchored up. No decent boat would be anchored up with 15 knot southerly winds. So we're going to go around and anchor behind Peel Island, totally protected from the wind, in a place called Lazarette. And I've never been there, but I've been wanting to go there like for years and years. So today's the perfect time to go exploring behind there. Anyway, it's taken us about an hour and a half to sail up from Canipa, and I guess it'll take us another hour to make our way around the back of Peel Island. If all else fails, I can always anchor up there, maybe at the 1 Mile Boat Club, and pay a fee of course, tuck out of the wind and have a good feed. Alrighty. Sure if you can see it, we're on the eastern point of Peel Island. There's a yellow beacon there, and it marks the channel going that way and that way, but on this side there's really shallow banks. We're going over them right now, 4 meters here, but I've hit the ground twice over there because I thought that was marking the edge of the channels, but it's the edge of the banks, but it's not. It's there marking 2 different channels that have nothing to do with the bank. And for all those punters in the trailer sailors and yachts, just be aware you've only got maximum high tide like 1.5 meters if you're lucky. So it's sandy, shoaly stuff, and it's not very nice touching the bottom. So I always give it a very wide berth now. Just got down to 4.5 meters here, so I'm quite alright. I'll do a jibe and tack around and head towards Stradbroke and around Peel Island now. I've finished the jibe, and I'll go up and show you the eastern tip of Peel Island and that yellow beacon. Hopefully you'll see the bank through the camera. There's shipwrecks just off the tip of eastern side of Peel Island, and I don't know if you remember, this thing went viral, and it's this bloke who ran over a bit of wreck and lost his whole bottom of his shaft off like a 150 Yamaha sort of thing, and I think that's where it happened. Anyway, if you're that person and it's not that spot, sorry, but I reckon that could be where it happened, because the wreck comes out a bit further than it looks there. And when I was young, we used to go snorkel that, and it was full of life, but I don't know, I reckon it'd be full of sharks right now. The sharks in Moreton Bay have exploded in the last 10 years, bull sharks. They really weren't around when we were younger. Now they are thick on the Gold Coast and thick in the Brisbane River and thick out here in certain places. So I certainly wouldn't do now what I used to do when I was 20. And that, you know, I'd dive down the bottom of anything really. But now quite cautious. Kids of my own even more cautious. And you know, go have for a swim on nice sandy clear beaches now and avoid that dark murky water in Brisbane and the Gold Coast. There's the line of the reef just there, and the current zipping through it here. So right now we're probably doing actual speed of maybe 3 knots, but we're doing 5.5 knots above ground speed. And thanks Peel Island for making such a great outgoing tide for me to ride along. Anyway, there's a boat in there, that's where we want to go. We're very sheltered on this side of the island. The wind seems to be dying off, and of course there's no waves on the leeward side of an island. Very nice, no ocean swell comes through here. Well, this place is full of life. The wind's dropping off. There were dolphins over here. There were dolphins still down there, and wouldn't be Peel Island without some dolphins fluffing around. But along this edge, yeah, it's really quite impressive. Clear water, no waves, gentle wind. Yeah, it's really nice. We are on a falling tide. Got about another 40-50 centimetres to go, so I'll have to be wary. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's a big yacht anchored out there. Hopefully we can get into where these smaller boats are and anchor up there for the afternoon tonight. Really nice spot actually. Now the wind is due to drop off this afternoon. Maybe this is the drop off, and we should have, coming up to Easter, we should have beautiful weather and blue skies, bugger all wind. The engine will get a workout, but that's okay. This is the Lazarette. This is awesome, this spot. I really like it. It's a 5 metres sort of thing. I'm sitting in 3 metres right now. I'm right up there. The sandbanks are coral banks are protecting all the chop. It's great. Wind's coming from, you know, going this way. It's really nice. Got some bigger boats anchored out there, some smaller boats anchored in a little bit closer. And this spot's called the Lazarette. And I can see why. So this is my Lazarette in Mojo, and it's filled with stuff, like chock-a-block full of stuff. And it's out the back of the boat, and it's tucked away. Well, this spot here is out the back of the island and tucked away, and it's a really little spot of paradise. There are fish everywhere, and along dead calm banks over there, reef drop-offs, dolphins. The water's clean, skies are blue. This is great. I'm going to jump in the tube. I think I'll take the foil, but also take the fishing rods, and go for a bit of a cruise around the place this afternoon, and see if I can maybe catch a fish, or go around the front of Horseshoe Bay and go for a sail instead. Anyway, pretty excited to be here. It's bloody awesome. I'll spend tonight here for sure, and probably tomorrow night, depending on what the wind does. If the wind dies off, we're over Horseshoe Bay, because Paul's my brother's kids, you know, they're young boys, a bit of beach, and they are happy as. Without a beach and they're stuck on the boat, they get a little bit too energised. Anyway, fantastic spot. I'm glad I've discovered this one. Can't believe it's taken so long to figure this spot out. And happy days, very happy. Hey boys, have you enjoyed our holiday?
Yep, it was pretty good.
And what have you done during the holiday?
We went to Moreton before, and we catch a crab there, and we saw some pet crayfish, and that pet crayfish was like, it was like my pet crayfish, Chippy.
And what do you want to watch this on when I put it on? Where will you watch this movie?
Where will we watch this movie?
Yeah, what do you call YouTube?
Oh, Yubtub.
Yubtub. Ah, very nice. And did you enjoy having a swim today at Sand Island?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like camping on the boat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lots of fun.
Where did you sleep? Where did you sleep, Bill?
I think where we're sitting right now.
Where'd you sleep, Sam?
Why?
Opposite side.
Ah, happy days. And was it okay? Like Dad and I didn't snore at all, did we?
Brothers combined is pretty bad, but
Is it? And were we snoring at the same time? Oh, at different times.
oh, yeah. I'm like, not like that, like two pigs snoring. No offense.
Pretty fun. And so this will be you're just having a bit of food before dinner, and we'll have the salad and snacks and happy days. It's good having your dad's boat here, isn't it? You can get places fast. Yeah.
It's just, I know how to choke somebody.
Chokehold. No, not at dinner.
No.
No, do the chokehold after dinner, eh?
I will do the choking.
Okay,
Oh, okay,
so
quick one,
don't
quick
really
one.
choke it, okay?
No, I will do it.
Ah, very nice. All right, better say goodbye. Wave goodbye to everyone.
Bye, youngster.
Bye.
No, stop it.
Well, here we are, heading back down south. Paul and the boys have met up with Brendan, going up to Coringal at Moreton Island again, and I'm going to take a whole day to, well, I wish I could sail, but there's no wind whatsoever. So I'll be in at about 5 o'clock, I think, down the Gold Coast, scoot home, wake up for Easter Sunday morning. Anyway, this is living the dream, that is for sure, and mixing up with the big boys, as you can see in front of me. Anyway, happy days. Hey, well, I got really wishful, put up the Genoa, the telltale at the top says that I'm on a reach right now, which I've been reached, but no, wishful thinking. If I was lucky, it might be blowing maybe 2 knots. Just enough to turn the telltale, not enough to rattle the sails. Anyway, we're heading into Canipa, and we're not stopping. We're on our way back to the Gold Coast. Oh yep, super luxury coming up from the Gold Coast, I'm sure. Checking out the poverty-stricken Brisbane people. Ah, she goes. Eric Early Beacon. Well, there you go. Crossing on the wrong side of it. Don't tell my dad. Heading up to Canipa. Okay, we're coming up to a really shallow spot, and in Queensland, when there's a sign that says shoals and you've got to cross from one side of the creek to the other, respect, because it is always dodge. There was shoals up in Gladstone, just north of Gladstone, that were dodge. These ones are dodge. I've raised the centerboard up to 3/4. I've loosened off my rope that holds my rudder down, so if it hits, it just sort of pops up. And we're at the top of the high, so I'm not too worried. I'm not even slowing down that much. But if it was half tide, low tide, I would be creeping at a snail's pace. Right now, we're down to 2 meters, 1.7. It is time to slow down. We'll just walk across. When you have to go from one side to the other in any estuary system, you know there's shallow, there's shoals involved. So whenever I have to cross, the chart porpoises have to cross, I'm really wary, and this is no exception. It's a really good example of it. So at the top of the tide, we only got down to 1.7, but on the way up, we got down to 1.2 and was touching the ground, giving a bit of a nudge, that sort of stuff. So I've used the incoming tide to take me down. That's the southern tip of Russell Island there, to take me down, and now I'm going to use the turn of the tide, the outgoing, to push me down to the Gold Coast. Anyway, I end up by getting an extra 1.5 knots out of that. Well, that was easy. High tide, no dramas. Low tide, yeah. At the very southern tip of Stradbroke Island, North Stradbroke Island that is, the last chunk of land before it turns into mangroves, is a spot called Slipping Sands. Pretty popular. It's out of the current, very shallow anchorage though, but pretty nice. And the boat clubs have got like a little house there and with facilities and whatnot. I think it's RQ, Royal Queensland Yacht Club, has one there, and it's pretty nice, pretty good spot. Because just around the corner you've got Jumping Pin Bar, which is you know, lovely, white water, clear water, white sands, all that sort of stuff. So it's not a bad little spot. And but once again, you've got to cross from one side of the creek to the other side of the creek up here, which means really shallow stuff. Top of the high right now, so it won't bother us today, but I have touched the bottom. In fact, when I was at Peel Island, staying out the back of Peel Island, I bumped into Simon Carter and said g'day, and we sort of said how good it was to have like a trailer sailor with a centerboard that goes up and down, and if you bump the bottom, oh well, you press the button and up it comes and off you go. It's pretty good, pretty good. I'm really glad I chose an Olex 30. Anyway, better get back to navigating. There's the lovely Jumping Pin Bar with many boats there. You probably can't see the camera. And straight ahead, we're heading for the bedrooms, North Bedrooms, which is an awesome spot. I love that spot to anchor up. But we've got a tiny little bit of wind for the first time today, so pointing straight into it. But soon we'll be on a beam reach, and going side on to the wind, which means we might even be able to turn the engine off. We're lucky. Anyway, happy days. Hey, the sails are up, the engine's off. Happy days, we are sailing past the bedrooms. Some good boats around here. But one of the best is Mojo. I just saw this boat Cresta swerve all through this traffic, just about hit another massive boat, even bigger than that. Was heading headfirst into a sandbank or mud bank, hit it, and bounced back out and on their way. So I reckon someone might have fallen asleep at the wheel or something like that. But anyway, I'm glad they've passed me. Well, hello there. Well, I'm starting to get ready for my next trip up north. Looking at heading off in August, the start of August. And you know the sort of trips I do. You've probably seen a few of the previous videos. If you've made it to the end of this video, you're doing all right. So look, I thought I'd throw the invitation out for anybody who wants to join me for one leg of the trip or a few legs of the trip. That's up to you. And as long as you're willing to give it a go, I'd love to have you on board. Anyway, let me know if that could be you. That's fine. Just after a little bit of company and sort of share the journey with a few people, that would be lovely. I know Dave and Richard, you might be keen to come along, so I look forward to anybody who wants to come and share the journey with me. Anyway,